Here we go with a box of Bants, and I'm here joined again by Gary Cully. Looks like, Gary, are you in Unit 3 there after training, or?
No, I'm actually only home from Unit 3. Just a little recovery session this morning, a little massage and a sauna.
All right, okay.
Saturdays and Sundays off, so no, I'm just at home now, chilling.
Can't imagine you're finding it too hard going back down to lightweight. Like, it's no real difference to you. You've done it so many times before.
Yeah, no, I'm like my weight cut. I'm 6 weeks ahead of schedule on my weight cut. Obviously, I have a team around me who's experts in all their own field. So I have a nutritionist on board and a weight making a specialist in weight making, Dave Nolan. So look, if I come into fight week at the weight I'm sitting at now, I'm pretty alright. So yeah, I'm way ahead of schedule on the weight making side of things.
So obviously, like, no beating around the bush, we already know that you're going to fight Kotochigov,
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But that was obviously originally that was scheduled for the 19th of February. That was actually the week before Frampton's world title fight. But now, obviously, they've announced the Dubois series. Has that affected you in any way? Has it benefited you more, or how's it affected you, seeing as it's moved forward?
Not really. I'm coming off now. I'm going back into training on Monday. I took the week off because, like I said, I'm way ahead of schedule. Anyone who knows me knows I stay in shape all the time anyway. So, like I said, I'm always within touching distance of my fight weight, and I'm always probably only 2 or 3 weeks away from peaking for a fight. So, I only got the news of Dubois. I was 5 weeks out on the Friday from February 19th. Just finished sparring, and sparring's been going really well as well. So I sparred 8 rounds, 2 different opponents, and then we got the news that it was that we'd been put back for 3 extra weeks. So I actually got the choice. It was fighting. We're looking at moving your fight. You can stay on February 19th show in Bolton, or you can fight in March the 12th in Dubai. So yeah, I said I'd just take a week off, chill out, and go back to it then from Monday. So like I said, I'm ahead of schedule. So just chilling now for a week, man.
I suppose it's also a benefit as well, because obviously Tyrone now is going to be on the same card as you, so we usually train and spar and everything together. So I suppose it's always nice when someone's going through the.
I was only thinking last night, like it kind of feels like a bit of a. Like it did when I was an amateur. Like, there's myself, Tyrone, and Lewis is obviously on the card as well. So it kind of feels like we're travelling away as an Irish team, like going away when you're an amateur. And obviously me and Tyrone are fighting against 2 Kazakhs, so it's like Ireland versus Kazakhstan in Dubai. It feels a bit like being like an amateur again. But yeah, that would be all good, because obviously me and Tyrone train together. A good mate with Lewis as well, so be comfortable over there. And the 3 of us are going over 3 big wins, please God.
The only difference is you'd be going up to some lovely sunny Dubois weather, lovely area, instead of eating wet noodles, cold noodles out of somewhere in Finland, in an alleyway somewhere,
or back to the Holiday Inn in Wakefield, which was pretty grim the last time in the bubble in Wakefield.
Yeah. No, because I remember. Chris Blaney says, you used to always sound great when you're away from Ireland, but some of the places were grim. So,
I've been in places my first ever trip away was in Russia. I was only 14. We went to Russia for 3 weeks. There was 12 of us on the team, and we all shared one room, bunk beds in one room. And people think you're going away fighting for Ireland. It's great and all, but no. Some of the places I've been have been really, really nice, but other places have been grim. Like, yeah.
But at least you can tell the story, I suppose. So,
it's all experience.
Yeah. So it's funny how the world kind of works, isn't it? You were supposed to be fighting Maxi Hughes, and then Maxi, for whatever reason, then had to pull out of the fight beforehand.
Yeah.
He fights Jono, he beats Jono, and then he fights Kotochigov, and now you're fighting Kotochigov. Have you watched much of him? I imagine Pete has watched quite a lot of him, and how are you thinking how confident are you going into the fight?
Yeah, I think I've watched him against Maxi Hughes. I haven't watched much of him. I watched that fight back when it was actually live. Obviously, because I was supposed to fight Maxi Hughes, not with Kotochigov in mind as an opponent. It was because I meant to be fighting Hughes. Pete's watched a good bit of him. I think he's technically very good. He's well schooled, but I just think I'm on a different level than him, and I think I'll show that on March the 12th. I think my experience, my apprenticeship is done now. I had the big fight experience with Joe Fitzpatrick, and then I went up in weight, fought Craig Woodruff in the first fight of my first fight since COVID, with no crowds. Had that experience, went up in weight, and got through that one as well. And yeah, I think it's just my time now. I think I'm ready to put on a big show and show that I'm levels above Kotochigov and that I deserve to be in the world rankings.
As well as that, you're probably very wary that even though Max Hughes has beat him, it's kind of sink or swim for Kotochigov because he had the belt, he's lost. He's lost now. Now he's fighting you, who's also on the up. So it's kind of He's kind of like he's one of these people who's in a situation where he can't really lose.
He's dangerous because he's, like I said, he's coming off his first loss and he's jumping into a big fight again. So another loss for him here, 2 losses in a row, doesn't look very, very good for his career. So yeah, he needs to win this fight. So he's coming all guns blazing as well.
You never want to look too far ahead, but I imagine someone like you, after this fight, you're going to be ranked with the WBO.
Yes.
And potentially, the way it works, you could be ranked elsewhere. Have you been looking at them? Because some fighters, they look at them every day, and some just never look at them.
I keep an eye on them just because I want to fight for a world title in the next 12 to 18 months. So I want to know who's there and who I'm going to be facing, of course. Yeah, I know who's in the rankings. I know who's in the top 10 in the WBO, and I obviously know the 4 big players there is Haney, Lopez, Garcia and Tank are all there as well. So yeah, I've looked at I know who's in the top 10 of the WBO. I'm going to be ranked with them after this fight. So yeah, I have my eye on a couple of names there.
Mm-hmm. I suppose you kind of feel at this moment with the age that you're at and the way you're building, all that at the top can kind of play itself out before you get to that stage, because at the moment it seems very difficult for someone to maneuver in there, because obviously all the belts are tied up with one person, and it's kind of like, right, well, who's going to fight Lopez now, and then Davies and Garcia call themselves out. So would you feel that you're in a good position here, kind of in your career, by the time you get to that stage? It will be much more clear. Your avenue will be much more clear where you're going to be going.
Definitely, but I think I have the potential to be a bigger name than the 4 of them guys. So my plan is there's 4 of them names who, when you mention lightweights now, you mention them 4 names. So my plan is to make it 5 names and have my name in amongst them 4. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm looking at that it will probably be an easier path. There's probably going to be people moving up. There's probably going to be people moving down. Stevenson is at 130. He's going to come up eventually too. So there's going to be big names there for quite a while. And I'm just looking to get my name in amongst them and getting big fights with them all.
Devil's advocate, not devil's advocate, sorry. Once you win now, look, this is all hypothetical, but something that'd be really realistic for you.
Fact, Kieran, fact.
I mean, hypothetically, as in these fights that I'm gonna mention to you. Yeah. Something that seems really realistic at the moment. So if you go in top 15, you're probably going to be around 5th. Usually, European, you're looking between 13th and 15th. Liam Walsh is 11th, and Liam Walsh obviously is going to be fighting for the British.
British, yeah.
And obviously he's with MTK as well. Do you think that would be something that would be very, very realistic after this fight?
Of course. Anybody once I win this title, I'm top 15, say number like you said, number 14, 15. So any of the 14 guys who's ahead of me is realistic. I'm not just looking at Liam Walsh. Obviously he's with MTK, so yeah, maybe it makes it a little bit more possible, but I'm looking at everybody, them 14 guys who's ahead of me, and all I want to fight after this fight. There's 14 guys in my way, so I want to fight people who are ahead of me. I don't want to be going backwards and fighting people who are behind me.
Yeah.
So yeah, him as well as the other 14 guys are all possibilities after this.
Lee Shelby, and then there'll be James Tennyson, who kind of seems to be Eddie kind of seems to be taking him on his path at the moment. But
yeah, Lee Selby's a possibility. Like you said, Liam Walsh, Cambosa, all these guys. There's a Japanese guy there who just beat Verdejo the other week, the Puerto Rican.
Nakatani.
Yeah, and that guy Verdejo as well. He's there. He's still ranked top 15, I think. So all these guys, all the big names.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say to you was, now that you've passed that domestic level, and every fight now is going to be kind of an acid test where you're going European, like ranking belts European, and then you're looking at eliminators, like a test before an
bridging the gap. Yeah, of course. Yep.
Do you feel like and I don't want to say negative, but do you feel like now at this stage the bow has kind of sailed for you to possibly fight in Dublin now in your career? Maybe, hopefully, if there's a card on later on in your career, but do you think that maybe it's looking less likely now? And do you think about that at all?
Like, obviously, a dream of mine is to fight in my home country. I'd love to bring big time boxing back to Dublin eventually, when a couple of fights time and a couple of titles, world titles on the line, and bring big time boxing back to the likes of the O2 and stuff. But look, I leave all that into the hands of my managers, and they take care of my fights. They tell me where I'm going to fight. So look, a dream of mine also has been to break America. So I think that's first on the list for me, is get over to Dubois, win this title, and then start bridging into America then, and really look to become a big name over there before coming back to Ireland then. But America's definitely on my list, and then I'd say more long-term goals would be bringing big time boxing back to Ireland then after that.
I think that's really. It's going to feel like you're in sunny Ireland over there, because the amount of Irish people that are over there at the moment is mad.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, hopefully there's tickets available, because I've had a lot of people on to me in touch about going to the show as well, so we could possibly have a big Irish force there as well, if there is tickets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's interesting.
Be like the home fighter in Dubai. I might turn it into a little Ulster Hall.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Very good. Yeah. And I presume you're staying over there afterwards for a week, are you? Or
I'll stay for a bit. Yeah, I was fight on Friday, so I'd imagine I'll probably go on Monday or Tuesday before the fight, and then probably stay for the weekend until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday after.
Oh, God. Well, look, Gary, really appreciate your time.
Yeah, cheers, Karen.
No problem. And,
no worries. Anytime, just give me a shout, yeah?
Yeah, no problem. I'll chat to you, obviously, closer to the time, okay? But yeah, thanks for the time.
Nice one.